So we looked at slope, which is not a form of a line, that's just an equation for slope. And then we looked at slope-intercept form of a line. And now we're going to look at point-slope form. So let's see what it is that we're going to do inside. So we have a line passes through a point with a slope of 3/5. And what is the equation of the line? Well, remember, if we're given points, so here's our points right here, and we're given a slope. So whenever we're given a point, x, y, and a slope, we're going to use point-slope form. So the first thing let's do is let's just write that down right here, what that equation is. So we're going to use y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Okay, so if we look here, we can see this y is taped down. There's nothing I can't lift it up. And this x is taped down. I can't lift it up. So those just stay the way they are. We don't alter them. The thing that gets switched is this y1, because that's the coordinate of what we're looking for, and our x1, because that also is the coordinate of what we have. Okay? So that means good practice is if I look up here, my -5, well, that's x1, and my 2, that's y1. So get in the habit of labeling those so that you're not going to mess it up. I'm going to tell you time and time again, students get these backwards. So take the time to mark it like that. So that means I'm going to have y minus, well, what's y1? y1 is right here, that's 2, equals, well, what's my slope? Well, they gave me my slope right there. So my slope, let's see here, I will use black for slope, is 3/5. Okay, times x minus, well, what's x1? x1 is -5. So again, I just want to point out that this negative here is not the same as this negative with the 5. That's why it's double negative like that. So we're going to clean it up a little bit. There's not much more that we need to do. So this is going to be y minus 2 is equal to 3/5 x plus 5. So if I'm asked to write the equation in point-slope form, I am done. I don't have to do any more algebra with that. So the question is, when do we use the point-slope form? Well, we use the point-slope form when given a point. It could be more than one point. It has to have at least one point. So at least a point and the slope. Okay? So we're going to look at one more example because sometimes we're not given things directly and we still have to figure it out. So here, a line passes through this point and that point. What is the equation of the line? Well, you're thinking, wait a minute. In order for me to use point-slope form, I have to be given a point and a slope. In order for me to use slope-intercept form, I have to be given the slope and the y-intercept. In this case, I'm only given 2 points. Well, we know that I can figure out the slope when given 2 points. So step 1 is we have to find the slope. Okay, so remember that's going to be, let's just label these. We're going to label these, and I'm not going to color code it. I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. That's just a good habit to get into, okay? So I know that is going to be y2 minus y1, so that's going to be 8 minus 2 over x2 minus x1, 5 minus 3. So that gives me 6 over 2, and if I simplify that, that means that my slope is 3. Okay, so that's my slope. So step 2 is I'm going to choose a point or pick a point. So I'm going to pick a point. Doesn't matter which point you pick. They both will be valid, so you have to choose one. And substitute in. Okay? So I'm going to pick a point. Let's pick 3, 2 because it's just smaller numbers. So I'm going to substitute in 3, 2. I could have picked 5, 8, but I want big numbers. So remember, I'm going to mark this. This is x1, y1. Okay? Again, I could have picked 5, 8 and still over here called it x1, y1. It doesn't matter. They're arbitrary names. So that means I'm going to have y minus y1, which is 2, is equal to my slope. Oops, didn't mean to write m, I meant to write 3. My slope times x minus x1, which also happens to be 3. So I'm done. That's it. So when would I use point slope form? Well, I could use it when I'm given a point and a slope, or when given 2 points. When given 2 points. So you have to listen to the vocabulary and you have to ask yourself, what do I have and what form would help me find out what I need to find out? And then take it from there.